Welcome back to EDH on a Budget. I'm your host, Iceman, and today I'd just like to take a second from my normal podcast and channel to talk about MagicCon and my first experience with it. I just went to Chicago, and I gotta say, it was awfully good. That's it. Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm gonna go over it more in details because I didn't really know what to expect going to MagicCon, and other than it being me expecting it to be awesome and playing some games, that's about all I knew about MagicCon. So today we're gonna go over just what they had, what I liked, what they didn't like, etc. So first off, I'd like to say it was, if you haven't heard anything, it was crowded. It was the biggest MagicCon. The most people went. Everything, all the tickets were sold out, and I loved that. All right, it was pretty awesome seeing. I don't know the exact number, but I imagine it had to be over 10,000 people playing Magic in a big, huge center. They needed more tables. That was probably the biggest con. They did not have enough free play and commander tables. I did end up seeing some people playing on the floor, which is kind of neat because that's from what I hear how EDH got started. But a concrete floor is not a good place to sit down and play a decently long game of Magic. So they had multiple floors filled with tables of Magic. They also had vendors selling and buying cards. There were even some budget bulk bins to go through if you wanted to see the expensive cards. They certainly had those too. They had the artists there that created many of the cards, and I enjoyed getting to chat with them and hear about their journey. How do they get into creating Magic cards and so forth. There were artists were selling stuff. You did have to pay for the artist signatures, and if you wanted to buy some of their exclusive stuff, some of them were selling exclusive tokens that they made, and it was pretty great art if you were into that. They also had other content creators like EDH, Recast, Nitpicking Nerds, MTG Goldfish, Game Nights, Command Zone. There so many content creators. I can't name them all, but there were lots of them there, and some of them had long lines that you could stand in to get something signed and chat with them for a second, get a picture, and that was pretty cool experience. It was worth the wait, and I gotta say, whether you go with friends or you just go by yourself, I don't think it would make a difference in your experience because I talked to a lot of people, and I gotta say, every single one of them was really cool, really understanding, and just easygoing, fun people. If any of them were at my local game store, I would totally ask them to, hey, do you want to start a play group and meet once a week or once every other week, because it was just, they led to fun games that you just wanted to keep playing again and again. That being said, part of the experience is you do want to play with more and more people when you're at MagicCon. So there was that little tug and pull where it's like, I want to keep playing, but it's also like, I want to see what they have. And they, there were basically lines for everything. They had a merchandise store, and that line was probably over an hour. The staff there was very understanding. They said, if you have to get out of line to use the restroom or whatever, you could tell a friend, and your friend could save your spot. Or if you're there by yourself, you could tell them, and they'll know to let you back in the line. It wasn't like you had to sit in line for over an hour, and if you had to go to the bathroom, then you had to get in the back of the line. So that was nice that they were understanding like that. The directions could have been more clear, both to the parking and like where to go from there. There weren't like a ton of signs on where to go. Uh, there were people walking around, and you kind of could go with the crowd, and the crowd would lead you there. But that was something that could have been improved upon. Um, Also, the pre MagicCon experience wasn't very good. I ordered my badge and stuff beginning of the year, and I got it like a week before the Magic Con, and then that kind of made me nervous. Like, is it being sent? Is it lost in the mail? Do I need to contact them to order another one? Get another one coming? And that was unnecessary stress. Um, and from what I've talked to, it sounds like that's how it was for everybody. It wasn't just my experience. Um, there was lots of cosplay players that were really done up nicely. They even had a cosplay tournament or show or whatever. There was prize money. There was, if you wanted to go see the pro players doing their thing, oops, sorry about that, you could. And you also had ticket to play. We could pay money to play games for tickets to turn in for prizes, and I didn't do that. I stuck to the free play. There was certainly a lot of games that you could play just for free with people, and you know that wasn't a problem going for playing free play for Commander. Maybe it was for other formats. I don't know. I know they had free play for general formats, but every time I went there, people were playing Commander. I know there was a Pauper EDH section. They also had judges walking around, so even with your free to play games, if you had a question, you just raised your hand and they would come by and answer that for you. So that's another nice experience. I got to watch game nights live. Not gonna spoil it. It was awesome. Um, I was in the Boros section, and it's like if you've ever been to like a sporting event, like college level probably, or maybe a student section of a high school game, it was like that intensity, but you know, for the whole crowd. Another negative is when you're trying to get stuff signed for some of the bigger named people like the Professor, Josh Lee Kwai, Jimmy, Rachel Weeks. The line was obviously long, but it wasn't in an area that really permitted long lines. Like you would just kind of the line was going through like tables and of other people and food sections, and that wasn't really ideal. It just didn't feel like a big enough area for that. They had another area for other content creators that were a little bit smaller, so they didn't have quite as long lines. And they had a section for YouTube content creators, I guess, and that was kind of interesting watching them do their thing. Um, there was also stations of water spread throughout, which was nice because it gets dry in there and your mouth gets dry and harder to talk. So it was nice that they had little those 5 gallon, I think, jugs of water dispensers with cups. Half the time they were empty, but it was still nice. They also had some sort of, since it was Clue edition, some sort of Clue, I don't want to say game, but like scavenger hunt with like QR codes and stuff like that. I'll admit I didn't do that, but it was nice to have other sections. There was a family section where the kids could play with art and Play-Doh, and it looked like one of the artists was there going over how to draw some of their like dragons and like step by step type of thing. Um, so that was kind of cool. I'm admittedly not the biggest artistic capabilities, but it was a nice addition, I felt. And overall, it was just super fun. I would highly recommend it to go at least once, and I would recommend going for the weekend because if you go just for the day, you're kind of going to have to pick and choose. Do I want to try to get as many games in as possible, or do I want to meet some of these content creators that I've been watching and really enjoying for, possibly years? And if you try to do both, you're probably going to be disappointed because you're not going to get in many games. But like I said, no matter what you choose, the people were awesome, and I gotta say the gathering was strong with this. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully they come to Ohio. Yeah, but I'll try to make some more trips. All right, thanks for watching.